to the Powerfully Gentle podcast with me, Rhiannon Griffiths. Join me for gentle and beautiful conversations around health and wellness, slowing down, sacred rest, and having permission to just be. To listen to more episodes, go to rhiannongriffiths.com, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, or follow on Spotify. Okay, beautiful soul, grab your cup of tea, come and sit down next to me, and we can begin. Hello again, welcome back. Today it's episode 5, and I feel like I might be creating this episode just as much for me as I am for you guys. I think I need to hear this message again to process it, to feel into it again, and to be open to all the possibilities again, because right now things can feel very up and down, and the global stuff is still affecting us, and it's affecting so many things, right? So let me explain a little bit more before I carry on sounding very cryptic. Okay, so last month I took part in a guided visualization exercise as part of a leadership mastermind that I was gifted a scholarship to by the beautiful Gemma Went. You may have seen me write about it on my social media, but boy, was this particular visualization that we did super powerful. Now, this isn't a new thing for me. I have been meditating and using visualizations for most of my life, actually, since I was a teenager. I've always been what some people might call a little bit of an old hippie, even when I was very young. And I've always had huge insights and encouragements and sometimes surprises through them, but they're always pretty strong and pretty intense. But as part of this particular meditation and visualization, I saw, or should I say I met, the future me. And it was by the sea, okay, no surprise there, and she held both of my hands as she looked into my eyes and said, "It's all so close, you don't even realize how close it is." Gosh, okay. I even get a little bit emotional now telling you that and sharing this with you, but it was so powerful for me. It made me cry, and it still makes me cry now, because I know, and I'm sure you also know the feeling, that sometimes our dreams and our hopes and our wishes, heck, even sometimes now our actual plans themselves in this time that we're living in, they can feel so incredibly far away from us, as though they are out of reach or just not possible. I mean, we hope that they are possible. Of course we do. It's what we're working towards. It's what we are aiming for. But sometimes I know that it just doesn't feel possible, or it just doesn't feel like things are even remotely close to coming into fruition, right? And this can be even more so, actually, if we've been working towards our goals and our dreams and our visions for a long time. If it's been many years, then sometimes we can feel like they're always just out of reach. However hard that we work and however much we do, that we never quite get there, wherever there, in inverted commas, is. But if, like me, also during this global situation, you were just about to get there, in inverted commas, like realize a big dream, tick those boxes, up level, step out into a new version of you and your life, to start living a reality that you had wished for a very long time. If you were just about to do that, and then lockdown or confinement or shelter in place happened, then everything changed. And that feeling of nearly doing it, nearly getting there, almost having that next chapter, the next step, the dream life, but then having the rug whipped out from under your feet. Yep, all of that can make you feel like the life that you wish for, that you'd planned for, or that you want for yourself is even further away than ever now. And I know some of you listening will also resonate with this. It's been a really weird time for many of us. But what if it really was all much closer than what you think right now? What if, despite everything that's crossed our paths and has challenged us in 2020, what if what we want, what we dream of, is actually closer than we think? What if it was so close, it was literally one step away from becoming a reality? What if you just didn't realise that right now? What if you just didn't know exactly how close it all is and how it's only one small step from falling into place, all falling into place? Now, how different does that space feel when you think about that, when you feel into that? It's emotional, right? I know, it makes me so emotional. And for so few words, for such a small sentence, it is super powerful, super transformational. And during the visualization where I got this message, I was totally blown away. It was like everything shifted suddenly. Things opened up suddenly. The expansive energy, the openness, the ability to breathe again, to breathe bigger and deeper. But more than that, it connected me back into my dreams again. And what I wish for my life, for my plans, for my path, everything for my future. It allowed me to believe again, to dream again, to open up to all the possibilities again. And I'm not saying that I don't still have days where I don't quite believe it to be true, or that I don't have days where I doubt, or days when I think it might still never happen for me. I do, of course, still have some of those days, even after having such a strong visualization and having such a strong and big energy shift at that time. I'm no different to you. We are all human. We all have challenging days and we all have stuff to process. We always have the inner work to continue with. That never ends, right? Even if we want it to, it never ends. It's always a process as we keep growing and keep changing and keep up-leveling. But the difference is that now I have that visualization to hook back into, to feel into the strength and the transformation and power within those words, within that sentence, that can shift my energy back into possibility and expansion and fulfillment. And by sharing them with you, I hope that this episode of the podcast can help you to do exactly this as well. And you also have it to re-listen to on the days that you doubt or on the days that you feel less than sparkling. So what if everything you have dreamed of is so close that you don't even know how close it is? Does it change how you feel right now? Does it change how you view your life right now? What does it open up for you? What is different in this space? If you knew it was close, if you knew it was super close, would you be acting differently right now? Would you make different decisions right now, armed with that knowledge? Would you maybe take a risk that could put you into the life that you've wished for and worked so hard for such a long time? Would you step out of your comfort zone in order to step into the life or the job or the dream situation that is so close, that is just that one step away? Because if something is so close that you can smell it, that you can taste it, that you can feel it, just brushing against the tips of your fingers as you reach out your arms, then maybe that one possibly scary or crazy step suddenly becomes worth it, right? It becomes less scary. It becomes less arduous or less daunting. It's often when we perceive there to be 1,000,001 obstacles in front of us that we can resign ourselves to the fact that there is just no point. It's too hard to get there. There's that nondescript fictional there in inverted commas again, but that's all the hurdles, to get to there. It just makes it too hard or seem too hard. When there are too many what ifs in a negative sense, those hurdles of confidence, belief, trust, fear of what might go wrong, when we have those hurdles in front of us, the what if we fail? What if it's not really how we imagined? What if we don't actually want that once we do get there? Or what if it's too hard? What if it's too much work? What if it's just all too exhausting? All of the what ifs. And that's the water element in Chinese medicine showing itself in full flow, but also fairly out of balance. The water element in Chinese medicine is the king of offering up all the what ifs. It is the risk assessor. It is linked to our kidneys and our adrenals. So it literally assesses life and death situations, and it does govern our fight or flight response because of this. So naturally, it will be looking for all the possible things that could go wrong, the reasons why it's too risky, and the catastrophization around something, because its number one function is to keep us safe, to keep us alive. And the water element loves safety and certainty. So sometimes fear, exhaustion, overwork, and uncertainty can make this water element deficient or unbalanced. And that can lead us to getting stuck in the negative what ifs. But what if we flip it over into the positive, lighter side of the water element and use this risk assessing energy in a more supportive way? Because when we are in fight or flight all the time, this really depletes us and it really drains our energy. And it's just generally not a good space to be in. So how about we use all of the water element's what ifs for good, for positivity, for assessing all the possibilities of what if it all goes right? How about we make the what ifs work for us? Use that water element's wisdom, water's reflection, water's courage, and water's flow to our distinct advantage. Let's use all those virtues and these vibes of the element to our advantage. Because what if that one thing that you're scared to do could be the thing that unlocks everything? What if your courage finally allowed everything to flow? What if all of your hard work was about to pay off? And what if you finally got to live your dream? What would that open up for you? And what does that open up for you inside right now, just hearing me say it? How do those kind of what ifs make you feel? And this is the beauty of viewing the world in this 5-element kind of way, living a 5-element life in the way that I have been for way over a decade, almost before I even started training. When we can understand what's going on energetically within our bodies and within our emotions, we can work with it. And I'm not saying that that's always easy. No, sometimes it is tricky to flip over to the other side of the coin. Sometimes we've been sat for so long on one end of the spectrum of energy within an element. Our energy, our circumstances, our imbalances, our illnesses, our challenges, all of those things, they may have been around for a long time. So ironically, we may feel more comfortable, whether that's consciously or subconsciously. We know what's familiar and safe, even when it's tricky or miserable, right? So we may actually feel more comfortable on some level to stick with what we know. So sometimes we need help to navigate this shift into the positive energy space as well. But when we understand this deeper energy that's going on here, when we understand what's going on, we can flip into the other side of the element, away from the one that's challenging or difficult or prohibitive or uncomfortable or keeping us small. And we can flip over into that expansive, positive, supportive, nurturing and nourishing energy space. And sometimes this is done through energy work, through meditation, visualization like I had, through energy healing, or maybe acupuncture, or yoga nidra, or even coaching, all of those sorts of things. But sometimes it can be something as simple as an affirmation, an oracle card, a sentence, or even a podcast like this one that can shift your perspective and shift your energy quickly. Just as that original visualization did for me last month. A simple sentence with so much power. So, my loves, what if it really is all much closer than you think? And honestly, it really could be so close that you don't even realize how close it is right now. Just one step, one chess piece on that board moved, and everything could fall into place. It could all fall into place. So I hope this shifts something for you today, as much as it did for me. I know how powerful it was for me, so I hope that it shifts something for you as well. And let me know how you go, and it's bye for now. Thank you so much for listening to the Powerfully Gentle podcast. You can download more episodes and subscribe on Apple Podcasts to get new ones delivered to your device so you don't miss out on any of the gorgeousness. For further show notes, information, and freebies, please go to rhiannongriffiths.com. And if you know someone who would resonate with today's conversation, please do forward this episode to them. You can share this episode on Instagram stories, tagging me at Rhiannon Griffiths Acu, and also tag the podcast at Powerfully Gentle, so that more beautiful souls just like you can benefit from this ancient healing wisdom. And I would also love to hear your thoughts on today's episode. Sending you so much love, and I look forward to sitting with you and talking again next time.